Hey guys. Welcome. Stop sharing and then try to share again. All right. Welcome everyone. As you're dialing in, just do me a favor, and if you are here live, type the word live in the comments. I am live in my Learn to Self-Publish Facebook group, also on YouTube. So let me know which direction you came in from and where you are connecting from. I always love to see all of the various different people and different places that we're connecting to, and usually multiple countries, which I really love. Okay. I'm playing around a little bit with the view, guys. Sorry, I just not seeing the live stuff that I'm sharing. Anyway, hey there. Love to see you here. Thanks for joining. Good evening. If you are coming in from Facebook, you may need to go and grant StreamYard permission to allow me to see your name and information. So let's see. Welcome, Positive Herding Dog. Thanks to see you, Barbara. Folks on Facebook. So if you go in and click the link that is posted on the live, you'll be able to grant Facebook, or I should say grant StreamYard permission to see who you are, so that if I share a comment, it shows and I can see who's joining me as well. No problem. So this is my weekly live. I love to come here and talk to you guys on a weekly basis. This is live in my Learn to Self-Publish group with April Cox, and that's on Facebook, or you can also find me live on YouTube. So I am here to answer questions about self-publishing, also to kind of share some things that are going on and exciting things that are brewing here with Self-Publishing Made Simple. So as you are joining, tell me, post your questions in the comments, and I will be able to see it here on StreamYard. If you would like to come on into the hot seat, let me know. I will post a link and you can join me on StreamYard. And if you want me to, for example, take a look live and check out your website, or you have a link or a listing that you'd like me to check out, share information, and you can also come on stage with me and join live, and we can kind of do some live stuff with the hot seat if you are interested. Be brave. It's okay. All right. Let me see here. So I am going to try to share my screen. It seems to tell me that I'm sharing my screen, but I cannot seem to see it in StreamYard. Are you guys seeing my events? If you are seeing a list of upcoming events that I am sharing on my browser, will you please just let me know, say yes or no. not usually having problems with StreamYard sharing my screen. I hope I can get through this. Share screen. Okay. People are saying no screen sharing is happening. Let me close out on the window and see if I can try to reopen the browser and see if that helps. And in the meantime, tell me what kinds of things are you needing help with? What kind of questions do you have for me out there today on self-publishing, book marketing, whatever you are trying to accomplish? I'm here to try to help you work through that. Okay. I am also going to post the invite to Facebook here, and also on YouTube for those that are looking to join and come on over with me and get some questions answered live. All right. To self-publish group. Okay, so just pasted that into that link for StreamYard is there. That's an invite to join me online. And let me just go into my YouTube channel here as well. Okay. And add it here. And add it here. Add it here. Okay. So we've got it on Facebook as well. Here. So Barbara says, I'm wondering where I find my pre-order sales. I have found some on KDP, but none on Ingram Spark. Interesting, because usually when you've got pre-orders, it doesn't necessarily put it in its own bucket, but you can see if you were to do a report on your pre-order period, you should be able to see those pre-orders pop in. And it does take a little while, usually like maybe a few days before your book actually goes live, before you start seeing a flood of those pre-orders pop in. Sometimes it'll trickle in, and then you'll get a big tranche of pre-orders that just starts to show up. But there's unlike Amazon that now has a place where you can go and click and get your pre-orders, they don't, that same kind of thing isn't there with Ingram. It's kind of all grouped in as orders during that period. I do not know what is wrong with me and my share screen. For some reason, it is not doing what I want it to do. I'm going to just try a couple things, so bear with me. There's some weird, odd things going on with StreamYard all of a sudden. And this is the first time. I absolutely love, StreamYard. It usually is so simple and easy to use. Shift 5. Let's see. Edit layout. Not sure why it is doing this. All right. Well, I was going to hop over onto Kickstarter and take a look at some of the existing campaigns from folks that I have been working with. And unfortunately, it's not letting me share any of that information here on my screen. Settings. Okay. Okay. I'm going to try to turn off some test settings that I have and see if that does anything here. Sorry, guys. Technical complications. Sometimes things can get a little bit challenging. So what I will say is while we're waiting, feel free to post your questions. Tell me a little bit about what's going on with you. Do you have something to share or something to ask? Abdullah says, let me see. Hi, can I create a stories book with ChatGPT without fear of trademarks or copyright? Thank you for the question. I would say I would not do that. What I would do is use it to flesh out ideas that you have. Use it to, kind of perfect your writing. I do have some authors who start pulling things together and they feel like, oh, this isn't flowing quite right. Let me see what ChatGPT will do to help me perfect that language, or give me some ideas. For example, here's something that I've done recently. I want to write a little Labradoodle Christmas book. Give me some ideas on plots, and I give it a lot of information about my previous books, about my characters, and sometimes if I've got just a mental block and I'm looking for ideas, ChatGPT is great for that. It is great for doing things like writing of blog posts and other things, but I would not at this point use it to write the story itself. If you write the outline or you get ideas or you tweak the information that it gives you, then and make it your own, then you are not going to have to worry about doing things that are going to come back to bite you later. Just because today it might be okay and safe, and I'm not saying that it is, doesn't mean that with all of the things that are going on with AI, that it's not going to cause issues, and later with some court case or some ruling will turn around. The other thing to be careful of is that there are AI detectors out there. And my prediction is that Amazon is going to start, doing some sort of processing that identifies, oh, this is written by AI. So when you do use it to help you mold things and pull it together, I would recommend putting it through one of those AI detectors and make sure that it's not being flagged as being created by AI. I hope that makes sense. Okay. So I did want to, since we brought up that topic of AI. Okay. I think I might see why I'm having problems here. I've got Windows.
Important security message. Your computer has been locked up. Your
Had a very odd thing going on here with my computer. My security detector was flagging some kind of fraud and was blocking access, and that's probably why I couldn't share the screen. Let me see if this is now going to fix it. Share screen. No, it's still not doing it. One of the things I was going to say is that I do have an upcoming event that I'm pulling together for those of you that would like to learn how to use AI with your writing. And so I've had a lot of people asking about this, and I've limited it to a small group. But I have an AI for authors hands-on workshop that is coming up on August 12th from 1 to 5, and that is my first self-publishing Saturday. So it was an idea that was brought up by a member of my team, and I thought, well, that might be a great idea to just pull some people together and do like self-publishing Saturdays and do some workshops around things. And so some ideas that people were throwing my way is AI. How do you use it? What about things like Amazon ads? Can we do workshops around Amazon ads, especially for newbies that are just trying to get familiar with it? Can we do some hands-on coaching around Amazon ads? So that is coming as well. And I will continue to look for, based on your feedback, what kinds of things are you looking to create, looking to get feedback on. We also have a couple of amazing free events that are going on. They are summits that I've emailed folks about also. There's 2 different summits going on in August, and one of them has over 50 speakers, and it's you get a free pass. It's going on the second week of August. And I've sent all of the information. Let me just look up briefly. Let me pull up so that I can share with you, and I'll put some links into the files here. All right, so so what I love about the summits, first of all, it's a free professional development for authors, right? So the first one is focused around launching, like how to do a great book launch, and to have 50 of some of the best speakers, author speakers and leaders in the industry presenting during that week is just incredible. And you can get a free pass, which grants you access to all of these while the summit is being held. And then for a small investment, if you want to keep lifetime access, then you can purchase that, but it's not necessary. You can get started with just a free pass. So let me just quickly pull up the email on that so that I can share some info with you guys. All right, email marketing. Boy, technology is not my friend today, guys, and usually that's not the case. So we have free tickets. So the first one, let's see, email. I'm just going to share a link to this information, and we'll pull it up here. So onto Facebook. So I sent out an email to my list with the information about these events. So I'll go ahead and post those here. Hi, Rhonda. Good evening. So nice to see you. So I just posted a link to the actual email that went out, and double check that. Take a look. It is just amazing to see all of the information that is shared. So free professional development for authors. Go behind the scenes with 50 plus book launch experts, August 14th to 18th. And there is a free pass available for the first one that is hosted by my friend, Eric. He is focusing all around your launching. And then on August 21st through 25th, Brooke Van Sickle is focusing all around Kidlit, so children's books. If you are people that are following me, because I do a lot of posting about children's books, then this is going to be a really special event for you as well. So tons of speakers and free access to the Kidlit Indie Summit. And you can go ahead and click and grab a free pass from the link that I'm sending there as well. I'm just going to also log in and post it onto YouTube. But you'll see it on this thread. Okay, let's see. Okay, all right, so here is the link for those who would like to check that out and take advantage of that as well. So definitely do that. And we also have an amazing speaker that is going to be coming and doing a live session. This is free to attend live with us on Zoom. A former student of mine, Linda Hansen, is going to be talking about book marketing. And she was brand new to book marketing and created her first book probably a year and a half or so ago. She's an author illustrator, and she has done some pretty unique things with her book marketing. And the title of her presentation, or the discussion we're going to have with her, is Marketing Books is Not Selling a Book. So she's going to talk about some of the unique things she's done. You can attend with us live, and you can go ahead. In the link that I sent you, there's also a link there where you can register for that event as well. And then I'm going to have Brooke Van Sickle coming in on August 16th, and she is going to be talking a little bit about the title of that discussion is 3 Things You Need to Start Writing a Picture Book. So if you have always wanted to write a children's book, and you are interested in doing more and talking more about the writing process, which is not something that I usually focus on. So I brought Brooke in to be able to talk through that with some of you. And so you're going to get, even if you are experienced with writing, I guarantee you're going to walk away from that meeting with some really great information as well. So go ahead and register for those events. Lots of great things always happening when it comes to upcoming events and things like that. And I do take requests. If there's a topic that you are just dying to get help with, then let me know. Post some information here for me and let me know, what direction are you looking to go in? Are you someone that needs to learn more about Amazon ads? Are you trying to is book marketing or Facebook ads? Like, what are the topics that you guys are struggling with? Questions? Anything? How can I help you guys today? All right. Without questions, what I think I'll focus on. Okay, we got one here from Christy. So thank you, Christy. Two things. You have a schedule on your website of all of these events and advise on school visits. Okay. So yes, I do have a schedule for these events. I'm going to go ahead and post it here. It's selfpubmadesimple.com/upcoming events. So that these events that I was just mentioning are those that, let me just show this. So you can find the link here for the upcoming meetings that I was talking about. The summits themselves, those are within the link that I showed you. Let me just go here. I have this link because I didn't put anything having to do with the summits on my upcoming events because they're not my events. However, I do have this link here. You can click in the comments. That'll bring you to the email I sent with the registration links for those upcoming summits from those folks that I mentioned. And I'm really happy to say that I am speaking at both of those events. So I am one of the presenters, and I'm happy to be there and to be spreading knowledge with folks around the topic of self-publishing. So one thing that seems to be a very commonly asked question is around AI. So I am going to, oh, I'm sorry. You know what? I just realized too that Christy, I didn't answer the second half of your question. So you were talking about school visits. So give me a little bit of information about what kind of questions do you have regarding school visits. I did a recent, one of the recent events we had was with author Kim Ann, and she had an amazing list of tips and tricks and even a list of things that you should purchase when you are considering doing a school visit. So I highly recommend checking out that video on my YouTube channel. That is going to give you a lot of information and walk through even, what her booth looks like, what has really worked well for her. I also have a couple of other individuals who I have worked with that and I've interviewed in the past. So let me just see. So the Kim Ann video, which I could probably find and post a link to. And then Jay Maletsky is another one that talked a lot about school visits when I interviewed with him. And I have one other, I'm sure the name will come up. But some of the things that will be really helpful for you to consider is, probably 2 months ago, you should have been reaching out for teachers and schools and introducing yourself so that back to school you could start, getting those visits on the calendar. Many of them are going to want you to go through a process of pre-vetting or doing like a background check. So it's important, I would say, start where you live in your area, find out about what rules that they have, and schools have, specific type of vetting that you're going to want to go through, and it changes depending on the district and the area and the rules that you have. Even sometimes each individual school has specific issues and rules about it, but have something that you can share with them to introduce yourself. ChatGPT is really great with coming up with like an introduction email. And what I would say is, if you are having trouble figuring out how do I present what I want to say in a nice, clear way, go on to ChatGPT. This is one of the ways I love using it, and say, you are an expert in, so give it a prompt and tell it who it is, right? So you are an expert in marketing children's books, and you have lots of contacts, and you are a master copy editor, right? Okay, so you tell it what it is, and I am a children's book author, and you give it information about you, and here's some information about the book. And then at the end of that, so you give it all this information and say, I am looking to contact schools in the area to introduce myself. Please, your task is to write me an introduction email and proposing or introducing myself and proposing a school visit. And the emails that ChatGPT writes and even pitches to like local media and things like that is amazing. The more information you give it about the benefits of your book and about who you are and the places that, or even, copy some information maybe that you've created for your press kit and give it that information, the better it's going to do. And especially also, if you tell ChatGPT the name of a person or a school that you are pitching, then and ask it to personalize the invite specific to that person or that school, or personalize the pitch to the podcaster that you're targeting and focusing on, it can do some amazing things. So you need a good pitch. You need some information that you can send, whether it's a press kit or a one page about you and school visits, and know what it is that you want to charge. Are you just looking for experience for yourself and just putting yourself out there, and you are willing to do no charge visits? Are you going to ask them to allow you to send home order forms so that kids can order books? What types of things are you going to do? And some authors will do free visits at first. Some will charge and then provide special discounts on the books. Others will say, I'll do it for free, assuming that I sell this, that the school, purchases this many books, whether that's the kids purchasing them or the school purchasing them for the children. And then they'll kind of work through that. And of course, the better you get, the more you do it. And the more you get your name out there, the more people get to know you, the easier it's going to be to, raise prices and charge more. If you are looking for an in to really practice and make it so much easier to get in and book a ton of school visits, think about preschools. Preschools have lots of kids who are in that, 3 to, early preschool and even pre-K, kindergarten ages. They love to bring in authors, and they often have multiple preschools, like the one in my area that I presented to, where my granddaughter was going. They got back to me after the visit and said, we have 5 more locations. Will you come in and do it for those locations as well? Right? You can get a lot of traction. And don't forget libraries and introducing yourself and getting your name out there. That's going to be an important part of moving yourself forward. If school visits are something that is part of your marketing plan, then really put the time into it to excel and to really, make it engaging for the kids. Get some props, do some things that just make it really fun. Oh, the other gentleman I was mentioning who does a fabulous job with school visits and has a ton of tips on my channel is Daniel Jude Miller. I've interviewed him. I just wrote the comments there. I've interviewed him for a few visits where he talks about his books and how he approaches the whole author visits and contacting schools. And I think at the time, one of the times that I met with him, he was saying that like 90% of his income comes from school visits. So these are the kinds of folks you want to tune into. I do believe Daniel has even his own channel and his post his own information, and you can follow him. But I have a couple of really great interviews with him on my channel as well. And that can be really a huge help to get you started if you're looking for just ideas and ways of presenting engaging things with kids. So Christy says, my question is how to get the school visits, and then what does a really successful one look like? Yeah, that's a lot of the information that, it really depends on your book, right? So I have Bobby Hinman is a best-selling children's book author, and the books that she writes are fairy books. So she was talking a little bit about this during one of our recent meetings, and she said, I pitch it to schools and to bookstores as like, hey, let's have a fairy party. And she'll read one of her fairy books, and they do, she has little props of, little fairy things in a little chest that she shares with the kids, right? So think about what your book, what is your book about? Is there a theme? Is there something that you can do with the kids? For example, I have my little Labradoodle books, and when I do school visits, I have a little mascot costume that I have my daughter or my husband wear, or volunteers at the school, and so they get to see the little Labradoodle. We do, we put some music on, maybe do some dances, sing some songs. I read the book. I just try to engage with the kids, and so that is one thing. I've gone to Pinterest and looked up like what kind of puppy projects could we do, things. So I do have coloring books, coloring pages, things like that. There are also things like, make your own puppy mask, right? I could use paper plates, and they could do something like that, or paper bags where they're making little puppy puppets, right, from paper bags. So does it make sense for you to introduce a project, kind of thing? Daniel Jude Miller, does this presentation his books are all like Monsters in Manhattan, and it's all monster stuff. And he walks in with this chest, and he puts it down, and it says, "Do not touch." And it's like got chains all around it. And he tells them that if they listen really well, that he'll even open it up and show them at the end of the presentation this, monster that's inside. And ahead of time, some of the teachers, especially many of them have been with him for multiple presentations, and like they'll get kids creating their own monsters using recyclables. And so sometimes he walks in and he sees this huge, classroom filled with monsters that the kids made, and he'll take pictures, and they send him pictures and drawings. Kids love to hear also about you. So it's not just reading your book, but like, what was it like to be an author? What kinds of things do you do? Did you always like to write? And so Daniel, when he talks about it, he talks about, being in the back of the class, doodling a lot on his notebook, and how much he loved drawing. And he even shares in the presentation some of his early drawings, and then how he went, how he started to become an author. And that's really interesting to the kids. And then, he asked them, you want me to read you a story? And, here's the new books. And so he'll read to them, he'll engage with them and get them going, get them asking questions, and get them involved. So it's not always a one answer that fits everything, because all of the topics that you guys write on are all going to be different. But bring your originality and your personality to it, because the kids will see through it if you're not being yourself. But bring like the energetic you, right? The you that's three lattes in or something, and you're caffeinated and you're energized. Because if you're not passionate about your project and your book, the kids are not going to be passionate about it, and they'll see low energy, right? Think about what you can use, what you can do that will engage them, and it will teach them something about the topic that you're writing on. I hope that was helpful. Okay. Do I have, so let's see, we got, Barbara says, do you have any thoughts on Amazon ads in relation to top of search IS? So I know that with Amazon ads, you can pay a little extra or give it a little bit extra to have it push, get you to the top of the page. I have not found it to be very helpful. I always tell people, experiment with your own books. If you think, gee, maybe I'll do one ad without giving it that extra at the top, maybe another one, add the extra 15% or whatever to the bid that will allow it to get top billing. But I'm typically, my rule of thumb is if giving Amazon the ability to adjust my bids up automatically or control automatic billing, I don't like anything that's going to do that. So I typically do down only or fixed bids, and I try to focus on the types of ads. For example, like if I want to be at the top of the page, a brand ad that goes across the top is going to give you that exposure that you're looking for. So think about brand ads. If you have 3 books that you can pull together, because you have to have 3 that you can put up there. But once you do, and you start building your brand and having some brand recognition, that can go a long way in giving you what you need. But if you see that, adding some of those extra bidding options to go up onto the top of the page is helpful, I'd love to hear it. Like I said, I can't say that it's always gonna, not be helpful for others. It just hasn't been helpful for me. That's been my experience. So tell me what you're doing with your Amazon ads. And as you experiment, would love to hear more about how that's working for you. Okay. I am going to share a few things that you may not have thought about, ways to use AI. So, and if you have other questions, please feel free to post them. But as we're kind of going through this, so the basics, as I mentioned earlier, give it a roll. Tell ChatGPT what it is you're doing. You are my social media manager. You are an expert at copywriting and engaging with your audience. And then give it a lot of information to, and say, here's some background information, and your task is, and give it some clear instructions on what you want it to do. That will help you greatly in having those kinds of pieces of information. And remember that you can go back and forth. So if it gives you something and you say, gee, so I'll give you an example. I was writing, I asked ChatGPT to help me put together some invites for an upcoming summit that I am going to be hosting in October. So I wanted to invite speakers. So I gave it information about what the event was and all of the information, and then about me and the time frame and all of that, and asked it to personalize an invite for, and then a specific person. And I had multiple people I wanted to invite, and it came up with some really great information, but it was so long. And I said, this seems really, really verbose. Can please shorten it so that we don't lose people. We want to make sure the key information is here, and let's reduce it by 1/3% for the length. And it goes, and it even apologized. I'm so sorry. I will do that right now for you. And then there comes the shorter content. It's really kind of cool that it does all of that. And of course, I take the information, I tweak it, I make it my own, put my own personal flair to it. You can tell it the tone that you want it to use, a friendly tone, a professional tone. If you're a very scientific person, so you can kind of let ChatGPT know the kind of mood. What do you want people to be able to feel when they get this? And then I asked, what about subject lines? Could you give me some ideas for subject lines for this email that are more likely to get opened, that are compelling and less likely to be ignored in somebody's inbox? And it came up with some great subject lines. They were too long, and I told it to, can you shorten it so that it doesn't get cut off, and went through and got what I needed. So that can be really helpful. And once you know the basics, then you can really start using it for things like lead magnets. If you're wanting people to sign up for your email list, you need to give them something, a reason to sign up, right? So if your book is about social emotional learning for kids, maybe putting together a lead magnet that gives parents or teachers ideas and ways that they can use your book, or tips for working with kids and helping them to open up emotionally, or some sort of additional benefit, maybe project ideas or things that will help the children that kind of are related to your book. So if you have this kind of thing and you need to create that document, ChatGPT is wonderful as a first start for it. And then, yes, go in and make sure that you put your own flair on it. You don't want to have something that's 100% written by AI, but it does a really good job of lead magnets, blog posts, rewriting copy on your website. You can even put, copy that you feel is a little kludgy and explain what it is. This is my about the author page on my website. You are a master copy editor, and I need your help restructuring this with a friendly tone, and kind of just give it an opportunity to give you some ideas. And sometimes it's just enough to give you what you need to just reorder or rethink where you're being blocked. And it helps make things easier, make things flow much easier as well. I wish my ability to share was not being hindered. Unfortunately, I can't open up and kind of show you guys some things, but I will plan on doing that next week when we get together. There's also, there are AI things out there right now that I've been starting to experiment with as well that will create a whole website for you. You put some information in and it goes and creates everything. And it's really cool. And these AI tools are getting incredibly sophisticated very quick. So if you are looking for things like that, there are a couple of sites that will do that. One of them is called Hocos, Hocos, and one of them is called Mixo, Mixo. And I've been, like I said, I started playing around with those as well. Video editing. Oh my gosh, what an amazing help that has been. If I take this video that we just recorded as we're doing my live, and I want to edit some snippets out of it, or I want to, if I pull it into a thing called Descript, which is just a video editing software, I upload it, it actually translates the whole video and I see all of the words. I'm able to do so much with just editing and then regenerating something. You can take clips and throw them on social media. You can arrange things in such a way that makes it great for social media sharing, especially with stories or YouTube Shorts or TikTok. With all of the AI technology, do you see my ugly background here? Descript actually has this thing where I can go in and click green screen. I just click my video, click green screen, and it removes my background. And then I can upload a fancy office behind me, and it looks perfect. It looks like I'm in a fancy office. That kind of stuff wasn't possible prior to all of these AI tools. And Descript is putting some really amazing features in. One of the newest ones that I can't wait to try out is eye contact. So sometimes I'm looking down and I'm looking at the camera, I'm looking down, right, just to kind of see if there's any comments. Well, they have this feature that you click on the video and you click on the eye contact thing, and it will take, instead of having your eyes going up and down, it'll make sure your eyes are always on the camera. How does it do that? I have no idea, but I think it's brilliant that all of these AI tools can make us look better. So use those kinds of things to help you move forward with all of the productivity that you need, and it will up your game. I also have some different things that I've been playing around with on the illustration side. Now, I do not suggest having illustrations being done by AI, but what I do really love is you have the ability to go into these AI software and create something that you can then share with your illustrator. Or if you're doing something like creating a social media post and you need an image, but you're out there looking at Pixabay or other things, it's like, it's not exactly the image that I need. Why not go into AI and ask it to create you exactly what you're looking for? And when that image comes back, and it's what you need and what you want. And by the way, it takes time to learn how to prompt it. But once you've got that down, your images become better and better. And you are able to then take that and throw it in. It's a social media post, right? So, when you're running Facebook ads or you're posting on social media, the visuals really matter. So if you want a really engaging visual and you just can't find it, have AI help you create it. That's an awesome opportunity and an awesome way to use AI as well. There's also some new AI tools that if you have artwork that's kind of being cut off a little bit and you need to extend it, you just upload the artwork and ask it to extend, and it fills in the details. And I thought, wow, this would have been brilliant. Recently, I had one author whose book needed to be resized, and she was trying to go with the different size. She had created these beautiful hand-painted art, and we actually had to hire an illustrator to come in and extend her artwork. But now we have the ability for AI to start doing some of that. Now, I haven't tried it yet, but I will, and I will share some of the information with you guys as well. How are you using AI? Anybody playing around with it at this point? Tell me more about, and if for those of you that are watching this on replay, give me a little bit of information about, first of all, type replay so I know that you're here after the live, and then tell me how you're using it. What questions do you have on AI? I will follow along and answer questions. Self-publishing, AI, Amazon ads, all of these topics are near and dear to my heart. And also topics that you are looking for me to present on in next week's session. Type your recommendations and I will pick some from the recommended list, and we will focus a little bit. I'll have more content to be able to share with you next week on these items. All right, so I'm just going to wrap it up. Thank you all for being here and participating in these discussions. I look forward to, again, seeing you at some of the upcoming meetings and items. I'm just going to also go here and just do one last push here for go to selfpubmadesimple.com and take a look at some of the upcoming events and register. We've got some great free events coming up for you. some great webinars, and also free summits that we've shared today. So those are going to be fantastic ways of growing your professional knowledge on self-publishing and writing children's books. So lots of awesome opportunities there. And I look forward to connecting with you. If you are someone who would like to do some one-on-one coaching with me or be a part of participating in my upcoming work group, then feel free to also go on and grab some time with me. You can go to my website at selfpubmadesimple.com, and you will see an opportunity there to set up a one-on-one for a consult with me and kind of talk specifically about your needs around self-publishing and how I can help you with that. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Take care.